Ben, so this morning we got the ISM numbers, which came in better than expected. We also got the ADP private sector employment numbers, which weren't as good as many were expecting. Are people just kind of waiting on the sidelines until we get that employment report on Friday?
Exactly. I mean, I personally, I think the ADP number was a good number, and the expectations I looked at was not that big a miss. But there are people trying to make headlines all over saying it was a big miss. But again, today was one of those oddities. The bad news was good news. The good news was bad news. So we had that kind of confusion in the market, and that's what we're seeing even into the closing bell. Confusion today was the only thing worse than being a floor broker today, and I'm sure as being a reporter trying to make sense of what's going on because there's not a whole lot to tell you.
We also got news from Merck saying that they were going to do a couple of collaborations on a cancer drug. Were there any sectors that kind of surprised you today?
No, not really. The problem is, I guess if one thing, it would be the drug sector. The Pfizer down dramatically, but Merck, and it's not surprising. That seems to be the new trend in the pharmaceutical is putting together teams rather than doing your own private R&D. But the tape itself is basically at a standstill, but yet the VIX and a lot of if you look at the derivatives trading, still is looking for much greater volatility than we saw today, and more than likely to the downside. So I think that's what we're looking at. We are in a correction mode. The market, I believe, will continue that way till we find a bottom. Today, it seemed to be about 1735-ish on the S&P futures, and that we hit that level a couple times intraday. So that seemed to be a place where we put a bottom in, at least temporarily, and I believe it is temporary.
Ben, thank you so much. For The Street, I'm Ruben Ramirez at the New York Stock Exchange.